Welcome to this week's Tyler Talks. Hey, this is not scripted. This is just off the cuff. I don't have an actual question today. It's just something that I wanted to personally talk about. As you may or may not know, I have a healing center where I bring people to Bali and I facilitate 30-day programs of people healing themselves. And people will come with skin conditions, cancer, diabetes, Lyme's disease, motor neurons, a whole plethora of things. And some people just looking to have an experience and find themselves, they come to these programs. But recently I've been having conversations with people on Skype with lymphatic cancer and different forms of cancer. So I really just want to talk about cancer. What causes cancer? Where does it come from? And what things should I do if I'm diagnosed with cancer? If I have a friend that's diagnosed with cancer, what information can I share with them to get them to maybe feel a little bit better about what's happening? Now, I'd go all the way back to what our body is composed of. And if you know me, Tyler Tolman, you probably know my father, Tolman, who's a brilliant man that I've learned a heap of information from, spent many, many years traveling around the world, and the guy's an absolute genius. So what he would say is that our entire body is a system of tubes. What? That's right, tubes. If you look at the skin, it's a system of tubes letting things in, letting things out. Hair is tubes releasing gases. Our digestive system is the biggest tube in the body, coming down our throat, going through the stomach, through the small intestine, through the large intestine, out the back door. Every cell essentially is a tube letting things in, letting things out. Lungs, plexi gathering of tubes for breathing. Our liver is a gathering of literally probably trillions of tubes meant for filtering the house. So if our body is totally tubular, this means that the obstruction of these tubes is essentially what leads to disease. Tubes can be cut, they can be poisoned and become weak in their lining and collapse, or they can balloon. There's all types of Latin names for this. They might not get enough nutrients, so therefore they start to fail. They can be obstructed and blocked by something called plaque. So essentially, if our body is a system of tubes, which it is, over time and distance, what we're putting in our body, what we're breathing, what we're putting on our skin, what we're eating and taking in from our environment all of the time has a direct effect of tubes. And the way our body cleanses itself is through defecation, which is going poo, urination, going pee, perspiration, which is sweating, and breathing. So if any of these tubes, any of these places start to get clogged to the point that it can't keep up, the function of that thing within the body will start to become lowered. And depending on your genetics, you have what's called lines of least resistance. If my father and his father and his father potentially had liver issues, I might have a genetically weak liver. That doesn't mean I have to develop liver cancer or liver problems. It just means I might need to eat differently to support the detoxification or having a clean liver. If I follow the same issues, eating the same types of foods that clog my liver or drink the kinds of drinks that clog my liver, then I'll be even more prone to those types of things. And I hope this makes sense. So for some people, if I'm accumulating toxicity and plaque, if I have genetic weakness there, that's where it's going to develop. And that's where a lot of these genetic or family inherited diseases come from. So let's say over time and distance, I am eating the wrong thing, I'm doing the wrong thing, my colon's getting backed up with plaque, I don't know anything about colon cleansing, I don't know anything about fasting, I'm just eating what I was told from the time I was a kid and what I learned in school, and all of a sudden I have colon cancer. That colon cancer did not show up overnight. So when I go into the hospital and, hey doctor, and he looks up my butt, all of a sudden he's like, you have colon cancer. I freak out. Oh my God, I can't believe I have cancer. And the doctor says what? Oh, we gotta operate immediately. We need chemotherapy, blah, 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 blah. Slow down. Take a deep breath. And understand that if you have cancer of the colon or any other place, I'm just using this as an example. If you have colon cancer, that has been an accumulation over time and distance of literally years of plaque and different things building up and accumulating, getting to the point to where it can't function properly, and the little cells in there that are trying to do their job cannot do their job, so they multiply to try to get the job done because all your cells want to do is help you to be healthy. So in this process of all these cells multiplying and trying to get the job done or what they're supposed to do, the work they're supposed to perform, and they can't, then we see a growth, we see a cancer, we see a spreading, something going on. There's confusion, there's chaos. But that cancer is taking a long period of time to develop. Yes, if you hit it late stages and it's a massive tumor and you're literally symptoms like you're going to die, maybe you're going to need some like invasive surgery. Maybe you're going to need some invasive, like, oh my God, the colon's clogged, it's huge, you're about to die, whatever it is. Okay, that's what the medical system is for. They're there for emergency situations. Absolutely. But if you go in, you're feeling great, but you're just kind of having some issues, and all of a sudden doctor's like, you got cancer, got to cut it out. Hold on a second. Take a deep breath and start to come back and start to go out into the world and start to educate yourself with how this system works. Because if you go to the American Cancer Society and you read all of the money they put into the research, cancer.org, they spent billions of dollars, $155 million last year on all kinds of research around cancer. And what they say, according to research, they say 1/3 of all cancer is specifically related to smoking. So don't smoke, okay? 1/3 of all cancer eliminated, don't smoke. Number 2, 1/3 of all cancer is directly related to lifestyle. They say diet and exercise, which means if you haven't been eating the right kind of diet and exercising, that's the accumulation of plaque that I'm talking about. So if you've been eating the wrong things, now you're at this place, now you have cancer. The thing is, you've caused that cancer to be there, and you've caused it over a long period of time. So now that you just found out from the doctor that you have it, it doesn't mean, bang, you're going to die. Unless maybe you go cutting, burning, poisoning, and all these other things that could potentially add to the problem. If it's an emergency situation you have to, by all means, do it. Find out what you need to do to heal yourself and get back to a good space. But if it's not an emergency, it can still be cancer, not be an emergency in the sense you have to act right away. You can really look at what kinds of things can I do to really clean my body out. And this is where the brilliant wisdom of fasting that has been talked about for thousands of years by people like Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Leonardo da Vinci, Pythagoras, and many physicians and healers of the past. Paracelsus said fasting is the greatest remedy. He was pretty much the one that put together chemistry in the world as we know it today. You look at Hippocrates, he laid the foundation for modern medicine as we know it. Brilliant physician. Also prescribed whole foods for medicine. And he also said fasting is one of the greatest remedies. So take a deep breath, educate yourself, and look at, okay, if I've accumulated all this plaque in my colon, I've developed this thing called cancer, can it be reversed? And I say yes. And why do I say yes? Because since the age of 13, I've watched my father give people information and facilitate people healing from cancer, and it's worked 9 times out of 10 from my experience. Then in the last 5 years, I've been working with people and helping people to fast and actually facilitating people's fasting, doing coaching, and watching people heal as well. I'm not saying you can heal everybody with whole foods. It's a holistic approach. But this is a big part of it. A big part of what's going on is what we're putting into our body. So then all of a sudden starting, look at what are the guidelines of prevention of cancer. What is that? Well, if you look at their guidelines, they say 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables, 8 to 12 glasses of water, and getting moderate exercise, which they consider, moderate exercise, they consider 30 to 45 minutes of walking a day. And that's it. So what if you already have cancer? What if you actually only ate fresh fruits and vegetables, got loads of exercise, and drank copious amounts of water? What would happen? Well, potentially you would clean out the plaque. Potentially you would have enough antioxidants and nutrients and things from those plants to then build your immune system and get you back to a place of health. And what if fasting was a process of breaking down morbid accumulations of tumors, cysts, and growths in the body? Look up autolysis of tumors. Look into the research of whole biological laboratories at the University of Chicago and what they're doing with fasting. And it's absolutely brilliant. And I can tell you, I've experienced time after time after time of individuals with aggressive cancer being able to heal themselves with fasting and whole foods. So take a deep breath, educate yourself, start to ask questions, find some information that resonates with you, and really assess both situations. I'm not saying 100% don't go the medical route. I'm just saying open yourself up to some information, be open to it, don't take immediate action without really having the education. That's all I wanted to share today. Thank you for watching. I believe that cancer is 100% preventable. I believe that cancer is also 100%, we have the ability to put it into remission using very specific methods, protocols. There's so much information out there. Look into it. If you have more questions, send me a message. Let's have a conversation.